Detective Lieutenant Riondo, and our school resource officer, Officer Nault, that are here to give you all a presentation tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. It shows you care. Hopefully we have a give and take, and if you are friendly with other parents, I'm sure you are, please share some of this information. I know it's going to be recorded and streamed. I have a face for radio, so I'm not really comfortable with this, but just bear with me. So this is going to be based on social media. These are going to be apps that we find the majority of middle schoolers and high schoolers using, as well as parents, but more so the school kids. Your child's safety, most often, your child will get into trouble in your house. So while you're watching TV, cooking, everybody's comfortable, the front door's locked, your child is either in their room or in the bathroom getting into trouble. I'm not saying your child, I'm just using that figuratively. That's where it more than likely happens. When we start seeing the kids' photos, when we find them and we start doing our investigation, they're in their bedroom or they're in their bathroom. If you're cognizant of this, you could probably stop, you can interfere. Just know what your children are doing at any given time. Your child in digital media, common sense will help you set the foundation for what your child is doing. If you set ground rules down prior to giving them the phone, and you say, if you do this, this will happen, and stick to it. If you unplug them from social media and communicating with their friends, that's life for them. Back when I was growing up, we had the rotary phone on a wall. That was it. If we didn't hand dial our friend and talk to him for 10 minutes, till Dad told me to get off it, that was the only communication I had at night. Now they go in, they're video chatting, they don't lose communication with their friends unless you put a limitation on it. Should you have your parents, your child's password? Anybody? Do you? It's great. It's awesome that you do. It is. In the grand scheme of things, means nothing. I can guarantee you if your child is savvy enough with their phone and apps, they have hidden apps that you can't find. They have backdoor passwords, they have backdoor apps that they can hide from you. It's better to have the communication, go over it with them on a weekly basis, talk to them. What's your activity like? What's happening? What are you doing with your phone? Talk to them about it. Get to know it. Before you leave tonight, Officer Nault will have some handouts for you to identify apps, what they're capable of, and an internet website that you, as a parent and educators, that you can access. And it's a wealth of information to help you negotiate it and actually give you pointers how to get involved with your child in social media. Posting photographs. We all do it. We all do it. People have Facebook. People have been doing it since MySpace. We let everybody know what our family's doing at any given time. We're going on vacation. We're back from vacation. This is us on vacation. What you don't know is there's a lot of metadata listed in that photo if you don't take proper steps to hide it, your location services and things of that nature. We can bring it into like infant view and we can tell you where you are when you took that photo. Inside of your house, we can get the coordinates of your house, in the school, things of that nature. So photos online, you can take some precautions that you can't be tracked and traced by some predator. And that's kind of what we want to do. We don't want them to look in. Digital footprints. It's exactly what a photo is. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to post all embarrassing pictures of your child and keep them on Facebook, because as your child grows up and enters middle school and high school, they may not want that embarrassing photo to be taken and copied and now owned by other students and used as a bullying device down the road. So kind of hide who you share your photos with. You don't want to put that on blast so anybody in public can stalk you. Basically, my opinion, social media is good to a point. It's made for stalking. Facebook was made for that as well, as my opinion. I mean, other than recipes and keeping track with a relative that lives in a far different state, how many of you surfing just some stranger's page, start looking at the photos, hey, that's nice, that's cool. You're stalking them. You don't know them. So that's kind of what it is, and that's how it starts. Cyberbullying. Can it be committed by somebody under 18? Anyone?
I'd say yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Cyberbullying is definitions. It's willful, it's repeated, and it's harmful. And the reason why I'm telling you this is you probably already know, but we also get some parents that come in, their child will get one text, "I don't like you, my kid's being bullied." No, they're not. It's just a text saying they don't like them. It's repeated, and it's harmful. Sexting. Does anybody have any idea what that is?
Sending pictures.
Sending pictures, yes. What is it? One person willingly sends another an explicit photograph, message via mobile phone. And this is what we tell the children, and I must have said this, and actually we were just talking about it. I don't know how many times I said this when we did the 3 lectures to the kids. And as a parent, please share this to other parents. What your child posts online, if it's copied and maintained, it will stay there forever. We cannot get it back. There is nothing we can do or say to get it back. There is nobody that can get it offline. So if your child gets enticed or does it upon themselves to send a photo or video of themselves and it goes to other kids, it is out there. We will forever. Long as we know that up front, you know that coming into us, you're not disappointed if and when, hopefully not if and when, if your child becomes a victim of this. We can't get it back. There are takedown sites out there that you can sign up for. They're anywhere between $100 and $1,000 a year, and they monitor the internet for that JPEG, and if it comes of a video file, and they'll take it down. The minute you stop paying, they stop searching, it goes right back up. Is sexting a crime? Absolutely. Both parties, if they start trading, will be charged accordingly, and we have done so. As the sender, you just transmitted child pornography. As the receiver, you are now in possession of it. So if 2 minors from this school are in a relationship and Johnny says to Susie, "Send me a picture of yourself in a compromising," not in those words, but in a compromising situation. She goes into the bathroom or in the bedroom, boom, takes it, sends it. Even though it's of her, she just sent child porn. And he just received it. And if he maintains it, then he's got that as well. So that's where we try to get that through the children during the lectures. Just because Johnny has it doesn't make you off the hook. Johnny wouldn't have it if you didn't take it and you didn't send it. Revenge porn. Anybody have an idea what that is? If you had to guess.
Using a naked picture against somebody.
An ex.
Remember that picture about Johnny and Susie? They're dating. They're in love. I love you. Send me a picture. Okay. They're not dating anymore because she broke up with him. And he's mad. So what does he do with that photo now? How do I get Susie back? I can't hit her. I'll get arrested. I'm going to share this with my buddies. I'm going to put this on blast. I'm going to put it on websites. That's out of revenge. Revenge porn is sometimes called cyber rape, non-consensual pornography, usually posted by a scorned lover. There are sites out there. There was one when we were doing a Dropbox. The kids through generations that were maintaining Dropbox were calling them wins. If they were able to obtain a photograph of a girl, of a victim, and post it, as many photographs as they could obtain, they were called wins. And then they posted to this Russian website. We couldn't get the thing taken down until the feds got involved, and that's because nationwide it was happening. You'd go to this Russian website, you type in Rhode Island, all the cities and towns it lists, you click on Burrillville, and it would show girls that graduated 10, 20 years ago that have kids, have families, that from one person to another through the generations was handing this Dropbox off to each other. And it was absolutely insane, but it was just an accepted thing. And this one kid cloned it and started sharing it and reviving it, and he ended up, was he the originator 10, 20 years ago? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. But he brought it back to life. And that is a victim of a revenge porn. Any questions? Anybody have any idea what this is? We've dealt with this right out of this school, and we've dealt with this out of the high school. Sextortion,
Give me money or I'll send the pictures.
correct. And how's it start? It starts with the sending of a photo. Somebody's misrepresenting themselves online. All of a sudden, here I am, I'm a 12-year-old guy, 13-year-old kid. I get this like beautiful lady. I really like you. Wow, you're really cute. Send me a picture of yourself. Send me a picture of yourself naked. So I do. Now all of a sudden, that person comes to light. I'm not this person, but you're gonna keep sending me videos and photos or I'm gonna put you on blast. Or you send me X amount of money and I'm gonna put you out on blast. And that's what happens. Sextortion, they're getting something. We had a case where this girl got looped into this sextortion thing. And again, remember what I told you earlier about taking photos of loved ones? Like, I'm not thinking anything. Jay's my brother. I take a picture of Jay and I together. Bad guy now knows I have a little brother. Well, in this case, bad guy had a little sister. I got tired of the photos of you. Start sending me pictures of your sister. And she did. And that's what happens with sextortion. And it just gets out of hand. And you don't realize how many photos, videos were transmitted prior to them coming to you, the child breaking down to the parent saying this is happening. That's why it's imperative you have an open line of communication with your children at all times. And as a parent myself, it's easier said than done. If your child comes to you and says, I've been doing this, and you don't fly off the handle, I would. But you gotta try to keep it under control so that way the chain of communication stays open between you. Can your images be used against you? We covered that. Extortion and sextortion, blackmail, character assassination, bullying, family embarrassment, all of those. And those are all reasons why they won't come tell you right away. If you don't have that open communication with your child, these are a lot of reasons why they won't say nothing to you. These are some of the reasons why kids go into a real dark place. And I posed this to the kids when we were here. Would they communicate with either one of these? Like, ladies, that guy texted you, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I mean, they were all laughing. No, not at all. They would. That starts bringing the email and say, yeah, who are you? Okay. Oh, you want pictures? I'll send them up. That's not who they're talking to. This guy in the background. Like, I try to do things to keep them into it and stuff like that. But this guy's probably at the computer, I mean. And unfortunately, sex offenders really don't look like him anymore. They kind of look normal. They blend. For our sake, he stands out. What's a sexual predator? Well, you just saw him. It's a person who seeks out sexual contact with another person in a predatory or abusive manner. Yeah. They don't have to go to a park anymore. I use this comment all the time when I talk to certain people, like the guy at the woods edge in a raincoat. They're not like that anymore at the park watching your kids play. They're not. By not maintaining communication and guidelines with your children about social media and texting and sharing photos, they're inviting them into your house while you're home. They're in your house because they're communicating. They're sharing photos. They're live streaming. The sexual predator is in your house grooming your child while you're home. And if I'm scaring you, good. Because that's how parents get on their toes. You're here because you took the first step. You care. You want to know. But knowing what I do, and same with Officer Nault, it scares us to know that these people are out there, and then some people just don't take this seriously.
These guys are good at it. It's what they do. They have nothing but time to sit in their room and do this. So.
And they know what works. This didn't work. Yeah, I'll try this. Oh, this worked. Boom, boom. And they're talking to 3, 4. So if one goes by the wayside, I still got 2 more. So by chatting with unknown strangers, they're inviting them right into their house. Anybody have any questions on this? You know what this is?
That local story.
This hit real close to home, right? She left this school. She bypassed her bus. She was groomed for 3 months by this guy. Well, for a period of time. I really can't go much more into depth because it's still going. Why I can show you that photo, he's a level 3 sex offender, registered out of the city of Cranston. He poses as a 17-year-old. He's 27. In the latest news that came out about him the other day, that is the worst nightmare. That is the extreme. Not only is it the extreme that a predator reached out to my child, predator picked up my child, took my child somewhere, and now is trying to contract somebody to take my child out. That is the extreme. That hit small town USA in Burrillville. This isn't Providence, this isn't Warwick, this is Burrillville. It does happen here. I do get the hairs in my neck go up when I'm somewhere out of town. And so what happens in Burrillville? Same thing that happens in Providence. Same thing. Don't fool yourself if it doesn't. You don't know anybody until you're in the four walls of their home. What should you do if your child becomes a victim? You know, we showed this to the children, so it's tell a parent, school resource officer, teacher. In addition, documenting the images, screenshot it. Don't delete it right away. If you plan on coming to the station and have us investigate it, just come to the station. Don't stop manipulating the phone and deleting and this. We may not be able to get that back. We have resources. We send your phone out. We don't do it. We have it forensically analyzed by the state police. They'll download it. We can find out the information we need to, but if you stop manipulating and deleting it, you make our job harder. In a sense, you're erasing the evidence right out from us. File a report with the police. Recommend filing the report regardless, no matter what. In some cases, the images may not be a crime. They may not also be recoverable. Report non-consensual images. In most cases, shows the social media platform. If there's a bad photo sent about your kid, if you notify the social media platform that's there, the majority of times, they'll willingly take it down. They don't want that problem. They don't agree with child pornography in any sense of the word, and they don't want internet bullying. So they will work with you and take it down, and that's free, as long as you start negotiating with that entity right there. We went over this already, the takedown service. Unfortunately, once they're on, they can spread quickly. Snapchat, they go away. Like, as soon as they snap, supposedly the photo goes away, but if you save the photo, you own it. There's nothing that person can do to retrieve it, to get it off your phone. You now have that photo. Takedown service, like I said, anywhere between $100 to $1,000 annually, and they monitor the internet to try to take that down for you. Those are the takedown services. Anybody aware that we have a bully website at the police station? If your child's being bullied in any way, shape, or form, they can go on this, and this is what it looks like. They can fill it out, add in the information. It comes to myself and SRO Nault, and it's investigated to see if it has merit to go forward. But if that way your child doesn't have to come to the station, they can start the first round there. I showed this to the kids. They got a kick out of it. Be careful of those on internet dating sites. His profile says he travels a lot and owns his own home. You know, so they got a kick out of that one. He's not lying, I guess. This website right here, Officer Nault has a handout for you before you leave. Great website. It's geared for educators. You're nodding. You already know about it? Yeah. All right. It's geared for educators and parents. It's a great wealth of information on different websites, different apps, what they have, what they can't do. And see, just being on the ball like that, you're well aware. I like to hear that. You know.
It gives you like opinions and write-ups. So like every time my kid wanted an app, if you go to that, it gives like a rating of the age level. It gives parent comments, kid comments, like everything, any concerns.
That's awesome.
And it's been very reliable.
It's a great tool to have, right? You know, because who would know? Like, they had the app Musically, where at first started, it's little kids singing. Where do predators go? They go where the little kids are. Next thing you know, they're all over Musically. So you just gotta maintain it, you gotta watch it. And you gotta check your kid's friend list. Like, I don't know how, when we were in here, I asked right out, how many have over 500 friends? You're in 6th grade. How do you know 500 people? Oh, we know them all. No, you don't. No, you really don't. So I can go screenshot a picture of a 12-year-old. I friend you. But it's me. And you're 12, so you think you're talking to me all the time. All I gotta do is misspell a boatload of words while I'm texting you, and you believe I'm a 12-year-old. You know, so it's very easy to misrepresent yourself on social media. You know, some of them will do these, no, you know, I want to Zoom, I want to see you, I want to live stream. Kids don't do that. They don't want face-to-face, or they would talk on a phone. Believe it or not, you know, you tell a kid, you know, you can talk to people on that. It's a great device. No, I'd rather text. They want to stay distant. It's easier. These are the people you want to contact. If you have anything, myself, Detective Carvalho, who's not here tonight, and SRO Nault, who's also working with detectives quite often. Please feel free to contact us if there's anything suspicious or you have any questions regarding tonight. I mean, we'll be more than happy to sit down with you, give you the resources. Again, before you leave, Officer Nault has those handouts, and we'd be more than happy to sit down and go over it with you. This is a short one. This is just to give you a quick blast on it, but I ask that you go to that website that will be on this piece of paper, and it's a wealth of information. It's stuff that, I mean, I could plagiarize it till I'm blue in the face, but you have that resource right in your home. You know, so it's nice to have that. I wish I had that when my child had apps and things of that nature. Luckily, I just threatened to break the phone so many times, she wouldn't tell me. But there's just a lot of different things that you want to stay up on. And most importantly is the communication with your child. If you have an open communication and maintain that with your child to where they are willing to tell you, yeah, this person's in front of me, or this is happening, and, you know, I heard, you know, this about Jimmy sent this photo and now it's out everywhere. Get involved, you know, that's the name of the game, be involved. Any questions?
I have a question. Did you do this type of informational seminar or whatever at the high school? And is it something that you're considering doing at the elementary level?
When the Dropbox case first come to light, when there was an arrest and it was all over the news, we did it here and we did it at the high school for all the students. And it's not ironic, it's bad. Last month when we were here doing the kids, as the grades went up, we had less and less attentiveness. They were here, but they were looking through us. They weren't hearing. And I even said at one point in time, I guarantee I get 2 of you out of here within a month and a half. We did. It's almost like the cop's not telling me what to do. I'm gonna do this. And next thing you know, they're in our lobby with mom. There's a photo of me circulating. I want it down. It's disheartening that you give them all the information and that they're still doing it, or they don't believe you. You know, like it's not gonna happen to me, or everything's a redo, like that, you know, Staples restart button. It's not like that with this. This is permanent. You know, as one of the slides I've taken down, it's like taxes. It's a permanent thing. It's never gonna go away. Those photos out there, those videos out there are never going to go away. When we did the one for the Dropbox, it was really like in your face. Like, we had an AG here. She was really good. She was explaining the laws, the ramifications of it. We showed up cases of, like, when it went really wrong for somebody posting photos or on a revenge porn side, how it really impacted the victim and the victim's family to where the victim saw no other way but suicide to get out of it. You know, she just couldn't do the takedown services anymore and things of that nature. And she was an adult. She was an aspiring model. She just couldn't take it anymore. And that's how she got out of it. But if she had somebody to talk to, and it was a boyfriend, she sent her boyfriend photos. They were dating, you know, oh, we're in love, I love you. You know, if we break up, I'll delete him. No, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. You know, and you just gotta stress to your child, that person loves you. They're not gonna ask you for that photo. They don't need that photo. You know, they don't need that video of you. You know, if your child respects themselves enough and realizes, I'm not sending you that. Dude, I'm 12. We may not be together next week. Nevertheless, married. I'm not sending you that. You know, that's what we get to instill on these children. You know, like, there's no reason to send that. And if you need that like or that acceptance that bad, we got to get you talking to somebody. You know, you don't need that acceptance or that nod from a bunch of people you don't know. And go through your kids' friends. You know, again, your child shouldn't have a couple hundred friends. There's not 500 students in this building. You know, I mean, so to have 500 friends, that's insane. I can guarantee you there's a good percentage of adults in that mix. And some of them aren't matching that photo. Anything else? Yes.
So, with her question about, are you gonna do something like this at the high school?
You're going to hold me to that, aren't you?
I honestly think you should do it at the elementary school too, because I teach at Steerbard and it's down to third grade. I mean, if you think that this isn't happening, it's happening in third grade.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I think it's very traditional in Burrillville that everybody gets a phone at their fifth grade or between fifth and sixth grade, and I think our kids aren't educated enough. It has to be continuous.
We could. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm sure, you know, between SRO, Nault, myself, and actually, you're right. You know, they even get trained even younger. I mean, how many times have you seen a little baby crying and mom does one of those? You know, and then boom, I'm good. They learn fast. And the problem is, they know it a lot better than we do. And they'll be able to, they'll have hidden apps. They know how to hide them. They know they could use, what's that, Duckadoo. You can't even, it erases your browser when you sign off and things of that nature. So they use stuff like that. So even if you went on, you can't figure it out. Yeah, you can have my password. Oh, look at you drawing a picture. Yeah, that's not my real app.
Continuous process, like they have to be educated.
Yes.
But then I think that, like, once you give it to them, you have to continuously be involved, like it's.
Correct.
It's almost a job, you have to make
Correct.
it a job, like, I'll pick up my daughter's phone, and first of all, I know parents are like completely afraid to be like, no social media, they're like, oh, that's their lifeline, it's COVID, you can't talk to people, so that's something that I've heard. But like, I'll pick up my daughter's phone and be like, she has 25 friends on Snapchat, that's what she's allowed, and I'll pick it up constantly, and I'll be like, oh, this is 27, I don't know this person. She's like, I know this person, and I was like, but I don't.
Good for you.
You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
Like, I think it always has to be your job. I think, like you said, they know it way more than we do, and I think it's beyond their expertise, and it's constantly changing.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. And a lot of parents need to approach it like you. They need to. You need to set boundaries. You know, your child's 9, 10 years old. You're just going to push them out on the main street and I'll come back and get you in an hour. Anybody want to do that? You're giving them a phone. You're giving them access to the world. You're giving them a phone, iPad, internet access. You're giving them access to the world. You are inviting any predator out in that internet source at that point, an invitation into your house. So you need to monitor that. And if that scares you, good, it should. Because it scares me. And when you see some of these victims come into our station and they tell us, and it's like the case that I showed you that we recently had, grooming. It's not a one-day thing. Hey, how are you? You want to go play ball today? It's a long time. Wow, you're really pretty. You're really this. You're really that. I really like you. Wow, you're awesome. You're awesome. They're looking for outside stimulus, outside the family for whatever reason. Not saying they're not getting it, but it's, wow, a stranger is recognizing how great I am. This is awesome. And they play into it. And that could be right after you get done scolding them because they didn't do their homework or they came back with a bad grade. And it's okay. I wouldn't care about that. To me, you're intelligent. You're the best. Oh, and it starts. They're going after the little kids. They don't know good or bad. It's just they're being groomed. And he said it earlier. They practice it. They hone their skills. It's like a hunter. They're honing their skills, and they're honing them to come after our children, and we have to prevent that.
Just be aware, they're gonna show you their phone, and it's gonna be their top page. They have 5, 6, 7 different accounts, all different names. Like,
It's really a
I'm new,
full-time job. Like, you
I've been
really
doing
have
this
to
SRO
spend
thing, and I'm learning a
hours.
lot of stuff just at this age level. of
It is a full-time job.
How many accounts they have.
I mean, I would do it, we would do it for the younger grade, we would do it for the high school, we've done it for the high school. Matter of fact, when we did it for the high school, we separated the two. And now it's hard, because, I mean, there's just different factors in play here. But we did it because the crime's different. As a girl, you send it to your boyfriend, or if A and B are in a relationship and A sends B, no matter what sex or whatever, there's the crime. There's the crime, and we tried to get the different reaction out of them. And believe it or not, we got the more serious response out of the males than we did the females in high school. The females were like, unfortunately, TV, internet desensitizes a lot of people to different things. Like, it's all set, I'll just delete it. No, it's not like a fish on a line, you can't pull it back. It's out there, it's out there. And you entrusted this individual at a specific time to give them a photo or a video of yourself in a compromising situation that you don't own it anymore. It's not yours to say what he or she can and cannot do with it. I own it. I saw it, I cut and pasted it, I saved it, it's mine, I own it. And if I wanna share it, I'm gonna share it. And that's how it's looked at. And that's what we need to stop. We need to stop that. And it starts with the parents in home. It starts with you. It starts with communicating with your child and knowing what your child's doing with those devices. Yes, sir.
Just a couple of things. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mike Savito, Superintendent of Schools. So I just want to start by thanking you, Detective Lieutenant Rando, SRO, see Colonel Lynch in the back. Thank you, Burrillville Police Department, for great support and these partnerships that we have, such a great relationship for our kids. We will work together to try to bring some of these similar presentations to elementary schools into the high school as well. And some practical advice I just wanted to mention personally that I think can make a difference, particularly with kids that are younger, when they first get those cell phones and the Chromebooks and the laptops. When they go to bed, you need to take those. Take the cell phone, take the Chromebook, the laptop. They should not be in their rooms overnight. If they're in the room, they will be using them. They'll be having the midnight text messages with someone, 1 o'clock in the morning text messages or emails with people. So what I did with my own children was every night, particularly when they first got those devices, was they went into the kitchen. In one area, there's no reason that you need a cell phone when you're going to bed at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And in the morning, they would, after they did their morning routine, they would pick them up. So just some practical advice. And
That's excellent advice.
I wanted to thank you both.
Absolutely, he's absolutely right. I mean, if you notice, if somebody notices your child's groggy, they're going to bed at 10 and getting up at 7 for school and they're still groggy, he's absolutely right. They're chatting until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, again, I said it earlier, growing up, I had the rotary dial in one center area of the house. My parents always knew when I was on the phone. We don't know if our kid's on the phone. We don't, if they're in their room and the door's locked. I'm charging my phone. We're on call 24/7. 12-year-old isn't. I mean, there's no reason for that. There's none of their buddies are gonna call them up in the morning going, yeah, dude, that cartoon's off the air now. We can discuss that tomorrow, so he's absolutely right. That makes perfect sense. And I mean, you start the limitation of it. And
It's got a built-in alarm clock, buy an alarm clock. You don't need.
yeah. Don't worry, I'll wake you up. Yes.
I set mine at PM anyway, so I'll wake up.
What do you do if your child receives an image unsolicited? So is deleting it enough? Like, my daughter, say somebody sends her something she didn't ask for. I don't want her in possession of any inappropriate images. If we delete it, is that enough to get her off the?
What, unsolicited, somebody just sent her a photo? No. Is she gonna be charged? Absolutely not. What I suggest you do, and by police officers and by we all need to work together to make sure bad things don't happen in town, period. See something, say something. Somebody sends your child a photo, please, come in and see us. Let us look at the photo. Maybe it's circulating around of somebody else's kid that we need to get involved in. And if nobody else is coming forward other than you, we won't know about it. But meanwhile, this photo of this child is circulating around that you now have the power to help us intercept and stop. So what I would do is I would just take the phone, come down, we'll talk to you and your child at the same time, get the copy of it. After we're done, we'll delete it. We have an interview, now we have software on our interview system that while we're talking to you, you can bring up your phone and we'll see it, so we don't need to maintain your phone, and then we'll just delete that, give you back your phone and send you on your way, and it's fine. But now we can start working this case in the event somebody is being victimized in one of these things, whether it be revenge porn, sextortion, something to that effect. And that could help us. That's what I suggest you do, unsolicited. Now, if you, on the other hand, your child doesn't tell you, maintains it and shares it, that's a whole, that's where we don't want to go with it.
Right, that was one of the big things we had seventh graders in it. They touched on, I think, 20 different questions, the same thing. But what if I got it and I didn't want it? What do I do with it? But if you keep it for a year and then you tell us, now you're in possession. You get it right away, you come to us. I'm always around. The administration again is fantastic. They get a hold of me as soon as they need. So,
I'd like to see, I think it would be helpful, if you did do it with the younger grades, to almost make it like a parent-child thing, and maybe make like a bunch of suggestions, like we do the family charging station in my house too, but I didn't always think of that, you know what I mean? And I've heard other people come up with great ideas that I haven't thought of, like the Common Sense, website, or the charging station, or, you know, remember, even if you're charging your kid's phone, they can still communicate through Google Chat, till 1 in the morning, so if their computer's in there, like, just a lot of different, I think it would be helpful just to share ideas.
With the younger ones, we'd be open to that with the parent and get them involved and talk to them. I mean, we would have to redo one of our presentations for the older children and bring it down and,
Maybe not
you know.
so scary.
Yeah, I mean, I put it this way, what you saw here today is kind of what we show them. I mean, we don't really go overboard. There's really no reason to show them scary photos. We're trying to educate them. Hopefully, we'd get more of a banter back and forth with them, you know, and then that way, at the same time, mom and dad are there, or one of the parents are there, and bounce off, you know, and I think that's a great idea. So that way, the police officers here, you know, if we're telling the kids, listen, keep your phone in the kitchen, charge it there, they go home, what did the police officer say? He just said, like, nothing. It's good to have my phone in my room because it has an alarm clock, like he said. You know, and they're not gonna tell you that we said to put it in the kitchen. So this is where it works and it starts coming up through the years, and it's a reinforcer for all the parents at that point, and that'd be great. That'd be really good.
Another tip is to shut the airdrop off. We had an incident on a bus where everybody would airdrop on got a photo,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And that's one of those inadvertent, unsolicited, I got it, but you got it, and then everybody on that bus got it at the same time. Now, if everybody in the bus is tight-lipped, you know, snitches get stitches sort of thing, we just need that one person to step up and say, that's not right. That's not right. Going right back to the anti-bully campaign, that's not right. It's digital imagery, it's digital bullying. No. And go home, tell mom, tell dad, come see us. Report it to SRO Null. You know, absolutely, and we'll deal with it.
There's actually like a lot of things that you can do on your child's phone too, to like set it up so things shut off at a certain time, you know, set up their screen time or not have them have access to certain things.
There are. A lot of people don't take advantage of it, but then again, a lot of people don't stay up with tech. You know, they don't. I mean, there's 6, 7 graders that were in here that'll make their phones sing around me. Like, and I'm on mine quite a bit, but they know what to do with it. And it's like, oh, I didn't know that, you know. I'll play off like I know it. Yeah, I knew that. But no, I didn't, you know. But they're really smart. They're very smart. And why are they smart? we've been giving them a phone since they were 4, so they don't cry and they don't make noise in the restaurant. So,
This is their world. We didn't grow up in this world.
There's also, I think, a Netflix video that explains the purpose of social media apps and what they're trying to get at and how addictive they are and how they're trying to like access kids' minds and become addictive and to be honest, I mean, it would be nice to even add that information and
sure.
if you've ever tried to get in touch with Snapchat, it is not, there's no phone number. Yeah, you know what I mean, like there are certain things.
We contact Snapchat often, unfortunately, serving them search warrants and everything
But
else.
if you ever wanted to.
Yeah, they don't make it easy.
for you
They
to
don't make it
access,
easy.
you
They
know
do
what I mean?
not.
So it's, it's things like that.
They don't make it easy. But you're right. I mean, those are great. And what we could do is when we do the educational for the younger ones, give the parents some tools. The educators there can also reinforce this at another day as well and just keep this going. So that way, by the time your child gets to this level here and in the high school, they already have a foundation. They already have some sort of interdiction as to what is allowed, what isn't allowed. You'll always have that outside force on your child. Hey, let's just chat and do this or whatever the case may be. But if you set the groundwork ahead of time, you're ahead of the battle on a lot of things. You really are.
Is that something that the schools are doing, like maybe in conjunction with you, or that help with the teachers, guidance counselors? Is there continuous discussion with the kids, or is it sort of that, we had our presentation?
There hasn't been, but that's something definitely, we should
Especially since it's
definitely.
always changing.
Right.
It would be good, maybe in a smaller setting with just their classmates that they're used to being around, maybe they'd be more apt to open up a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely something we can definitely look into. I would love doing that. But
That's-
it's the alternative.
Yeah, SRO North is this year, he was put in as SRO, doing a fantastic job. He's actually up and running with it. He has these presentations. He's in on these. He helps create them as well. He's been on all the talks. So he's gonna be a reinforcer on this, and again, we all gotta work together on it. I mean, it's not some sort of cliche, it just is the truth. But I'm sure he'd be more than open to reinforce it with the children at the schools after this and things of that nature, and just use the presentation as need be.
I was just gonna add on to that, so, obviously, we meet regularly with students as well, in addition to advisory class and in their health classes. We have had a lot of grade level discussions about some upcoming and recent disciplinary issues that we've been having. And I will say the majority of them center around phone use, inappropriate Instagram accounts that are being made that are fake and about middle school students, taking pictures of people without their knowledge. So we have been meeting with specific grade levels. Sometimes we break them down into teams and have those discussions. We do find it's easier when we can get a smaller group. It, holds a little more weight to it. And I have, included in my newsletter, we're seeing a lot of issues with cell phone use. So certainly we appreciate your support at home too, as far as reminding kids that, during class time is not the time to use your cell phone. You will survive. So, but we have done a lot of reinforcement with that through assemblies and through team talks with students as well.
I think that's good too, because right when it's happening, if you're calling them on it, and they actually saw it, they're noticing. That might encourage some of that behavior as well.
Well, we've gotten to the point now where I'm starting to follow the pages myself in hopes that will cause them to try and shut them down, because it's like whack-a-mole, you're trying to run after an issue and chasing dead leads, and it's time consuming, and so, but we appreciate everyone's support at home too, that helps.
Yes.
In your opinions, what are the top worst social media apps for the kids at this age? Like, I know they're.
Remember that photo I showed you at the beginning? All of those. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. Snapchat to me is difficult because I'll send you a photo, you look at it, and then it just disappears. And then everybody's like, oh my God, it was a picture of this. We can't find it. There's no getting it, it disappears. But some people will screenshot it and keep it. So those are the 3 main apps that we see, but we've seen like Musical.ly and things of that nature. There was a couple that you could total anonymity, you're totally anonymous, you can comment on anybody, or, like a swipe right sort of thing. It was just, every day there's a new app coming out, and there's like a horde of predators in the background just ready to sign on and ready to go. Again, do they have their place? Yeah, they do. You know, you can keep in contact with people, photos, whatever, same groups, you know, whatever the case may be. There's always the bad element involved that makes it bad, but somebody just hit on it. This becomes addictive nature to your children. And sometimes just taking your phone away from your child isn't enough. You know, like, we've had instances where the child has gotten in trouble because as soon as they get to school, they'll use their friend's phone, sign on, because I gotta get my likes. You know, I mean, and it's just, it's their social network, it's their acceptance. It's what they do now. What we used to do growing up to be socially accepted by our friends and our peers. I don't know about you, but other than my 10 buddies, I didn't have 500 people always looking at my stuff 24/7. They do, and it means everything to them. Look at this, hey, no, that thing that I ate, the Tide Pod, I got like 7,000 likes. You know, I don't get that, the challenges and things of that nature, but again, not my generation. It's theirs, and it means everything to them in a lot of ways.
From what I've seen this year so far, it's Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram, and they have 5, 6, 7 accounts.
Yeah.
So I just created a fake one a couple months ago because I had no idea what it was. And you just follow someone and they accept you, and I'm a part of a bunch of things, and I'm like, I can't believe how easy it is just to follow these kids. They don't know who I am, it's just a regular picture. And
It's your, I had to sign up for that sports team my daughter was on. It's the only way we could stream video during COVID, we couldn't be there to watch the games. And just the amount I got to, the friend request and this and that, I'm like, I don't even want this. I didn't want it in the first place. And I think that's part of society too, is we need Facebook to see what day it is when it's a snowstorm at school, and the next day, it's so the kids don't get it before I get it on Facebook, so they use my account. But it's the society we're living in too, is that's where we need to go to get the information, and I hate it. I don't want to be on it either, but.
yeah, I'm right there with you. I have a son that's a senior in high school here also, so I didn't even know school was canceled. I had him driving to work yesterday and found school was canceled. So, until I was already home at work, and I'm like, oh, sorry, Mike, we gotta go home and go back to bed. So I'm right there with you. I hate all this technology.
How many people here have Instagram?
Fake one.
Is it open or is it secured? Somebody has to ask to be your friend and you have to accept it. You need to train your children that way too, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Lock your photos down. There's no reason why somebody should just type in your child's name and get every photo they've been taking for the past couple of years. You know, again, that metadata buried in the back of the photo is accessible. Get your coordinates of your house, get the school, get all that information from you. Get family members. Hi, here's a picture of me and mom. There it is. The bad guy knows you and mom. You know, teach them about that, security on that. They're gonna have it, but if you teach them to protect themselves as well, that too will help. And somebody friends them and they made a cognizant decision, like a decision to, okay, I'm gonna take you as a friend and keep you, and now this person's like going back and forth. Is anybody asking you for photos? Are you trading photos? You know, ask the tough questions. We're parents, not friends. And you gotta ask those tough questions. And I mean, you're all here, so you care, so you are involved. This is awesome. You know, I hope when we start doing more of these, we get more people here. I really do. But like I said at the beginning of this, you're all friends with your children's friends, parents, so talk about this, spread the word. This is what I learned, this is what I got. Go to this website, check this out. You know, this is what you're gonna wanna know. You may not have wanted to sit here and hear the 2 police officers talk till they were blue in the face, but this is what we got out of this. This is really good information. You know, so maybe the next time you can bring one of them with you. You know, or something to that effect, that they could learn something from you. You have a wealth of information. You're already hitting our website. That's phenomenal. That's awesome. I didn't know that was out there that much. I mean, I looked at it, I was going through it, and I was like, this is great. Why isn't this like publicized everywhere? You know, so, actually, you said you saw it as well. You know, it's just, it's a great website, so.
There's also, it's called Mark, I think, where you can sign up, and you can have anything that your kids are going through, like, sent to like an email address, and you can kind of scroll through it and kind of keep an eye on things that way as well.
That's great.
Well, What was it called?
I think it's called Bark.
B-A-R-K?
Yeah, if you look, cause I'm always like looking for protected things or just to see like what's out there.
That's great. Anyone else?
So this, just final thoughts, this presentation is being videoed and will be up on our website, and thank you, Lieutenant Leondo will live in infamy in eternity on the internet, on our Facebook page and on our website. The video will be posted if anyone missed it tonight. If you want to spread the word and have other parents watch it, please do.
Keep the comments nice. I'm pointing at the camera. But no, again, I thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's great. Please spread the word. We'll definitely discuss, I mean, our bosses here will definitely discuss with Colonel Lynch about doing it in the other schools as well. We can make an impact, you know, we can definitely do it but we all have to be together on it, on the same page. And I think if we start with the younger generation, bring them up, they'll have the right tools and manipulate through it, and negotiate through it, and be okay.
I just think of all the things that we educate them on, like we've been to the recycling center, like on solid core field trips, by the time they get to fifth grade, I think this needs to be the new education, like this is what our kids are using all the time, and I mean, I wish there were more people here, but I feel like when people, you know, word of mouth and everything like that, people will realize how important it is.
Absolutely. And you know, you chose to come out, we're doing this. I mean, it doesn't matter if 1, 2, 3, 4, you chose to come out, we're doing this. So, and we appreciate you coming out. And what Dr. Salito said, 100%. Get the digital media out of your children's room when it's time for bed. That is like top notch right there. That really is great. I'm gonna steal that, just to let you know, Doc. But that really is good. That's good info right there, and a lot of stuff we covered here today. So when you leave, if you didn't get one already, please see Austin Nault for that sheet. Has the website on it, has some other information. It has the icon of the apps as well as what those apps are available to do. So if you question your child on a specific app and says, you take a video and they say no, you know for a fact that it has video. And this was taken off that website.